Yo guys, welcome to RenderRam. My name is Jaco and today we're going to be continuing with our 3ds Max journey. So today I'm going to be talking about some spline modeling, we're going to be introducing some new modifiers to the whole story, and we're going to be modeling a lamp with splines. So this is the lamp that we're going to be modeling, and generally I'm going to show you how you can very precisely model an object like this. It's very simple. So in your Max, the first thing that we're going to do, since we need to model this lamp, we need to have a good reference. Always, whenever you're modeling in Max, always model with a reference directly in your Max. So do not eyeball. That's like, try to follow that rule. If you have an image of something that looks the way it looks, don't look at it and try to replicate it. Try to import that image into Max and literally draw on the image and start from there. So this is the image of the lamp that we're going to be modeling. You can see when I hover my mouse over the image, it says dimensions are 1000 by 1000 pixels. So what I need to do, I pretty much first need to kind of set up the whole reference for our lamp modeling. And I'm just going to draw like a plane here. And I need to make sure that the plane is actually equal length and equal height, because the dimension is 1000, meaning it's equal on both sides. So let's set length to be, 20 with 20. We're gonna fine tune the actual dimensions later. So how do you go about it? So you have a plane here, move your folder where your image is, and you can directly drag an image and just release it on the plane. Now let me just go to the website where I got the picture of the lamp just to see how tall the lamp is or how wide it is, etc. So we can see that the height of the lamp is 45 centimeters. I can't just put here 45 because it's an overall image dimension. We have this part which is not included and this part which is not included in the 45 centimeter height, for example. So how I'm gonna go about it? Well, there's actually very primitive way of doing that, which, a lot of people use. Create another plane and just draw it on the side and set the length of the plane to be 45 centimeters. So this is the length like the actual length of your lamp. So position it just so that it's, right above the black line here, because this is like the bottom, this is like the ground. So what you can do, click on your lamp, and now you can just move it here, and now you can just resize it. One thing is, you can see, like, I don't see the plane that I created that serves as a reference for height. I don't see it very well, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna move it a little bit to the front. Okay, now select your lamp and just go to the scale mode. Again, press R. R is the scale, it's here, and just increase it until pretty much this part of the image, this part of the top, like the top part of the lamp, and this part here matches up. Why am I saying this part and not this part? Because this is a perspective thing, right? Whatever is in front of you has some different properties. Whatever is further away from you has another different properties. So I'm generally kind of aiming for the middle, like the middle of the lamp. And this is that part here. Move the lamp like this. So you see, like, this is the bottom here, this part, and just scale it up a little bit more. Let's say something like this. And now when I move it to the edge, we can see that it perfectly matches with the top, and here it perfectly matches with the corner, and now we're actually ready to model. So now you can freely just delete this reference. So I'm going to be showing you two techniques on how you can, model this thing, and hopefully it's going to be fun. So we're going to be dealing with splines. We're going to be using a line spline. So line is usually used for any sort of, spline modeling, because from that you pretty much just draw whatever you need, right? All the others here are pretty much predefined shapes, and which can serve as a starting point for some scenarios that you may have, and then you model from there. But for our example, I think a primitive line is actually the best thing to use. So let's start with the base. So I'm going to click on the bottom of my lamp. So follow this. I'm going to do a click and I'm going to hold the click. Now I'm going to release it. And now I'm going to try to define the outer shape of the lamp. So I'm going to click and hold again. Now notice how when I'm clicking and holding and when I wiggle my mouse left and right, the bottom part also wiggles. Don't worry about that. We're going to correct all that if you made a mistake there. Release somewhere around here. You see, I'm actually aiming for the bottom part to kind of match. So let's release it roughly here and now move it up. When you get to this point, click and just hold your mouse button and try to kind of aim the previous part to match. So let's say something like this. Now repeat the same process, so click and hold until you completely traced your entire lamp. So as I'm coming to an end, I'm going to be showing how you can fine-tune whatever you're doing just so that you can have a much better control. And now look at this. Now I got to the end. Since we got this kind of, cylindrical object here, and I'm just going to do a single click to just, finish the whole curvature thing. And now I'm going to right click and that will end my spline creation. So now I pretty much drawn a profile. Remember when I told you that we were going to be drawing on the center of the lamp, not in the back, not in the front. So because of that, I pretty much took in consideration that this back part of the lamp, so like this one here, is pretty much the the back curve, and we're aiming for the middle of the lamp, and the middle is pretty much here. Now if I go to my modify tab here, I'm gonna go to my vertex mode, and now I can correct some mistakes that I have done. So look at this. When I, for example, select these vertices, like the 3 of them, or all points, doesn't really matter, you can notice that I have these kind of handles here or here. They're called tangents, and with them you can actually kind of adjust the curve and just make it more, I don't know, sharper, more smoother, whatever. So take a look at this. I need to tweak this one because I can see there is some offset here. So how do you go about it? Just click on the vertex and just click on the handle, and now you can just move it like this. See, try to kind of match it. If, for example, as you can see, I kind of made a mistake, I actually need to be closer in with my vertex, I can just move it slightly in like this. And now this way you can actually correct whatever modeling mistakes you made. So for example, this part can actually go down, and I can actually try to kind of extend it more, let's say like this. Now this part, let me see if I can maybe correct something here. Maybe this one can go actually a little bit up. And let's say this is pretty much it. So now if I press F3, I'm gonna purely see, kind of a wireframe of the whole thing, meaning I'm gonna see how my spline actually looks like. And how do you actually create a body of the lamp with this? Well, we're gonna be adding a modifier that's called lathe. Go to your modifier list and you can just search, or you can type LATHE, so lathe. Click on that and you get this. You're gonna see in a second what lathe as a modifier does. So we got this kind of weird shape. So to modify this lathe, you just need to click on it. Whenever you click on a blue modifier, let's call it like that, and if it turns transparent like this, that means you have activated like the properties of that modifier, meaning you can control what it does. You can always click on the little arrow here and see what is activated. You see now the axis mode is activated, where when it was kind of turned off, it was just lathe, but we want to go to the axis mode. And now if I click on my gizmo here, and if I move, look what's happening. We're actually creating, kind of a profile of the lamp. But you can notice that this lamp kind of looks polygonated. You see a lot of polygons here, and this is not really cool. We want it to be, nice and rounded and smooth, etc. So there's a cool thing. So let me just press F4 to go into my edge mode. You can see we have segments here. Now look at this. If I lower the segments, you see what's happening. I'm just adding like these segments, like the smoothness on the whole thing. So let's just make that to be, I don't know, 32. And now when you look at the whole thing, it looks much better. And now if I go to my front view again, you can see that I pretty much almost perfectly matched the body of the lamp, and you just modeled this object. Now let's move on to the shade. So I need to model this shade, and I'm pretty much going to be using the same technique for that. So go to the little plus icon here, click on the line, and now let's model the shade. There is one thing about this shade. If you kind of have an X-ray scanner, and if you wanted to see how this shade actually looks like, you can notice that it actually has a little curvature like this inside, and then it goes, down, and then it has another curvature here, right? When you're gonna be, creating renders of this, etc., you're gonna be adding some sort of translucency so that you can see the light inside the lamp. That part is going to be a very nice detail because you're actually going to see this kind of dark line. So we're going to model this with a tiny bit of different approach. So I'm not going to be using curves. I'm actually just going to do the click, 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 click. And then we're going to finish it off with a, subdividing modifier or turbo smooth. You're going to see what it does. So this is how we go about it. So just do click here, click, 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 click. And now I'm just going to do one more click here just to kind of have a more defined shape of that. So one click, and now you just move to the top, and here you start pretty much do the same thing that you did here, just in the opposite direction. So just do click, click, like this, 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 this. And now just right click to cancel out the action or to finish the action. So at this point, go to your modify tab. We're going to activate lathe. So let me just find, okay, lathe is here. Click on the lathe, move it all the way here. But since we didn't use the curvy feature of the spline, you can notice that, we have these kind of rough edges everywhere. You see like how that looks like? It just doesn't look very pretty. So because of that, I'm going to add a subdivision. A subdivision is pretty much you infuse your models with more polygons and it will just look more smoother. So take a look at this. Go to your modifier list, scroll somewhere near the bottom and you're gonna see turbo smooth. So turbo smooth here. Click on that and would you look at this. So now we got this. Before that, we got that. See like how you see the difference? You see how much more polygons we kind of get? And now the whole thing looks much smoother, and it kind of has a more nice flow to the whole object. And that's that. I mean, like we are almost pretty much done with our lamp. The only thing that's missing here is this cylinder here, and then there is this kind of stand here, and then inside you have a bulb or whatever. So to make this process generally very easy on modeling this, you can go and model, a cylinder here, cylinder there, and call it a day, and that's it. Or you can also use splines, so you can just click on the line and pretty much just do this. Click here, click there. I'm not creating any curves. Click, 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 and then just move it up. By the way, in Max, if you're holding shift, you're actually creating, you see like under the exact number of degrees. So like if you want to go perfectly up, don't just try to eyeball where the up is, hold shift and it's gonna lock, you see? Like even if I move my mouse left and right, you're just moving it perfectly up. So now just move it up, let's say up to here, and do final click and right click to kind of finish out the action. And again, we're just gonna be clicking on the lathe, click again on the lathe, and just move it here until you get the shape. One thing also that I need to add, I just need to lower it down a little bit. But that's pretty much it. We generally modeled the lamp from the picture. One other cool thing that you can do with splines also, since splines have a ton of manipulations that you can do with them. So take a look at this example. If I, for example, let's say you are tracing something like this, and what you can do, let's say that the object you're tracing looks like this, and then it has that, and then it has this, and then it has that, right? Let's say this is your object. What you can do with splines, if you go to your modify tab and you select the vertex mode, so you can select this one and then hold Control and select this one so that both of them are selected. And now you can see there's many options here that you can use. Again, click around and see what the options do, but some of the cool options are, for example, the fillet option. If you click that, and now if you hover your mouse over the dots that you selected, you can see that you have this kind of weird icon like two arrows. Now look at this. Click and hold your click and move up, and now you're actually curving the spline. So you can just click on the splines, you can just curve them however you like. So now in general, just try to have fun with splines, try to draw some crazy shapes, experiment with the lathe modifier. You can also, create some shape and put extrude modifier, it will kind of extrude the whole thing. You can create crazy logos with that or whatever you like. But, I think it's been enough of, me talking about how to model stuff, how to, use splines, polygons, etc. Next time, we're gonna dive into some, beginner rendering. We're gonna, discover the beautiful thing called Material Editor, and we're gonna do our first test renders. So yeah, stick around and see you in the next video. Bye.